Welcome to the Doughboys podcast, episode 5, where we talk everything Amazon FBA and business. I'm your host, Logan, and I'm joined by my lovely, studly co-hosts, Josh and Cisco. How's it going, guys?
Chilling, man, good. Chilling. Enjoying the day.
Well, let's go ahead and jump right into the hot take of the week. This one comes from me, and it's going to get some Amazon sellers riled up. Here it is. Sales rank doesn't matter. And what I mean by that is it's never a deciding factor for qualifying Amazon inventory. What do you think?
I think you're 100% wrong. Okay, then let me take a step back. So not 100% wrong. But yeah, you're right. It is not a deciding factor, but it is part of the full picture, right? So you're not going to make a decision based off the sales rank, which actually you might if you're new. I mean, I sure did when I first started. But it's going to be part of the whole picture, right? Sales rank can also be really deceiving, and in the sense that if you see an item with a high sales rank, it can still sell a lot and be very profitable. You just have to look at the other factors to make sure and to confirm. Sales rank can be a reason to confirm, sales, but you also want to look at the drops. You want to look at the offer count. And most important of all, you want to do test buys, send them in, and use your own data to see how many you should order next time. Personally, that's what I do at least.
Yeah, those are all really valid points. That's going to be hard to disagree with there. I mean, you're hitting multiple checkpoints when you're looking at data, and that's what you're doing when you're sourcing on Amazon. You have to have Keepa, and there's almost too much data on there. But sales rank is just another thing, another data point to look at, and it's definitely not the most valuable one. I would agree with you there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the reason I think this is a hot take is because a lot of sellers will just look at rank. Like they'll say they want something to be ranked less than 50K or 100K or 150K or whatever. I don't think that's a good metric for so many different reasons. Just a few that come to my head. Every category is different. You can stick to that 150K, rank threshold, 100K threshold, whatever. Go try that in video games. It's going to take you a while to sell that product. Or go try that in any kind of smaller category, and it's going to take a while. The other thing, and this is the more important one, sales rank is just a snapshot in time. It's so important to be looking at Keepa and see historically what is that sales rank. Maybe something's ranked 2 million right now, but it's been out of stock for the last month. Whenever it's in stock, it's ranked 50K. So you need to be looking at the history. You need to be looking for velocity and the new offer count and the reviews and the sales rank drops, all these different things. And I love Cisco's point. At the end of the day, the best data is your own. We always do small test buys, like 3 to 5 units, and then increase that incrementally to be able to get our own data and see, you could be predicting that it's going to sell 500 times a month, but based on the Keepa. But how long did it take for you to actually sell through your test orders? What is your data that tells you your own sell-through rate? Sales rank is never a determining factor. We're always looking at every single thing on the Keepa, and we're always doing test orders to get our own data.
But, Logan, how do you get to that level to understand the Keepa? Does it happen in a week? How long did it take you to learn Keepa as efficiently as you do to make those decisions? Because, between you and I, there's times where we buy products that are 225K rank. I can think of one right now, and it sells fine. And then there's other ones that don't have a rank at all, and they still are fine. Like, how long do you think it took you to get comfortable with Keepa and knowing how to read it to be able to make those buying decisions?
A while. It definitely didn't happen in a week, overnight, even in a month or a couple months. It takes a lot of time and looking at literally tens of thousands of Keepa charts and learning what works and what doesn't. The best thing to do is watch a lot of YouTube tutorials, but then, like we said, test buys and start figuring it out on your own to see how accurate it is. Really, like everything, the more you do it, the easier it's going to get.
Yeah.
But I would say at least a solid 6 months to a year.
So would you say your first month to 3 months on Amazon as a brand new seller, maybe you want to take a look at have that be your primary source indicator of if you should buy a product or not is a
BSR
rank chart, and then have a better understanding of how the ranks work in different categories?
if you're a new seller, sure, look at lower ranked items because that is one thing that can help you. But you still, on every single purchase, need to be looking at Keepa. If you don't look at Keepa, you're not going to get better at reading Keepa charts. So maybe if you wanted to play it safe, look at Keepa and also focus on lower BSR items. But don't substitute BSR for not looking at Keepa.
If I can jump in here, I know that Logan has said it's about reps when you're trying to get good at Keepa, and a good place to do that at, and he's also said this before, is Dollar General, Dollar Tree,
Yes.
things like that, where it's low risk and really high ROI reward. So especially if you're not starting with a lot of money, you get a lot of reps because there's a lot of volume there, but it's also low risk. So if you mess up on reading the chart, which is you need to mess up to learn. It's a good place to do that at.
Yep. It's a lot better to have that mistake on a $1 item than on a $20 item or whatever and multiply it over however many items you're buying. If you're going to make mistakes, do it at someplace cheap like Dollar Tree or Books.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to kind of go back to what you were saying, you know, it's going to take you some time to really be proficient at Keepa, but don't let that stop you from making any purchases, right? You're going to want to take things step by step.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, next topic I wanted to discuss with you guys is passive income. A lot of people, I actually got multiple DMs this week of people, you know, asking me about Amazon and wanting to know if it's passive income. So one, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that for Amazon specifically. And then two, do you guys think any type of income can ever truly be passive where you don't have to do anything to earn it?
Yeah, I do think, you know, there can be passive income in general in business. I think, and even when you start investing and dabbling in other things. But I think for the most part, in anything that becomes passive, there's going to be some time that you have to build for it to become passive, right? I don't think there's anything that's going to be truly passive from the beginning, unless you have millions and millions of dollars that you can invest in something that's going to return dividends or appreciate and stuff along those lines. I don't think Amazon will ever truly be passive. You're going to have to work on it for a long time and start building your business and start sourcing out different aspects of your business. But I think you can get close to it being passive in the sense that you're not necessarily in it all the time, but it's never going to be truly passive. You're still going to have to put some work into it. I mean, Logan,
Okay.
I mean, you only spend like, what, an hour a day on Amazon?
Less than an hour, usually 30 minutes or so. But I mean, it didn't happen overnight. I've been building this business for nearly 3 years, 2.5, almost 3. And it's just taken me a while, but I've been able to outsource almost every aspect of my business where I have teams, I have prep center, and really just every aspect that the business needs to keep running can run itself at this point. And right now I'm just really doing like some admin stuff, kind of looking for inefficiencies and continuing to tweak the things and make it, you know, more profitable and more efficient. But yeah, I'm able to have, for the most part, passive, but I still have to check up on it 30 minutes or so a day.
Passive income we're meaning you put in no work, right?
Yeah.
And you get money. Yeah, so I don't think it's passive income unless it's like generational wealth and some sort of trust fund going into your bank account, because I'm disagreeing that there can't be passive income because, for example, like Logan, his Amazon business is technically passive income at this point. He's doing little to no work, but all the work he did have to do to get to this point was immense. I was there for that. So how passive is it? Even if you're in stocks or in real estate, you're spending time talking to people, networking, actually pushing money through a wire account to somebody, so that's still work being done. Unless it's you were just born into a wealthy family and daddy's putting money in your bank account, I don't think it's passive income.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess it just really depends on what your definition of passive income is, right? If you want something that you are literally not doing a single thing and then money's just being deposited into your account, I mean, that's my definition of passive income.
Me too.
But but Amazon, I don't think is ever going to get to that point because you're always going to have you can put as many checks and balances as you want to be as secure and as as you can, but eventually you're going to have to check on your business, or if you neglect it, and people can take advantage, and that's when you start losing money.
I think the closest you could get to passive income in the Amazon circle is if you went and you bought someone's Amazon account and it was completely outsourced like Logan's. I think that's the closest you could get to a form of passive income.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's not even just Amazon, but also any kind of like business that you're that actively needs to be ran. Any kind of business, really. I think it's going to be nearly impossible to make it completely passive income. What you can do is get the amount of time that you need to put into it down quite a bit. Like, I think my 30 minutes or so a day, I could probably get that down to like 30 minutes to an hour a week once I fine tune things some more. But it's not going to be able to go lower than that. It's just not. So while it's, fairly passive overall, I still wouldn't identify that as passive income because I still have to put some work into it. And I think that's going to apply to any type of business that you're running. Now, I do believe that there are some types of passive income. Like I would say stock investing. Like if you have $100 a day go out of your account into the S&P 500 automatically. You never think about it. It's just going in there, and over time you're going to see an 8% return every year on average. I would find that as passive income. You're not doing anything for it. So yeah, that's one form of passive investment. But I would say any type of business that you're actively running is probably not going to be able to happen. And generally for income, you either need to put in time or money. If you have both, great. But it's going to require one or the other. So if you have more money, then you can start investing in more passive things like stocks.
You guys want to know something funny?
Yeah.
One of the first options that come up when you type in passive income, best way to make it, create a drop shipping store.
No way. That's
Swear.
funny. That's wild.
Create a print-on-demand store, sell digital products, teach online courses, become a blogger.
These are all active businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's nothing passive about that. So what they're
30
talking about
passive
is
income
less
ideas.
time. They're talking about less time.
Things that are scalable. That's what they're mostly talking about. But I'll definitely agree with Logan. The only thing that can really be counted as passive income is just when you invest into the market and you have something that pays you back dividends or that just kind of grows over time.
Yeah. And I guess other kind of investments too. Like let's say
Dogecoin.
10 years from now, we're all, multimillionaires or whatever. And there's like startup funds or startup businesses that are looking for funding. Maybe we could, make investments there. They're the ones actively running the business. We cut them a check for $100,000, and then we see returns from that after a few years. I would consider that to be passive income because all we have to do is write a check. So any type of like investment where you're hands off, I think that can be a form of passive income.
All right. Would you be okay if I complicated this a little bit more?
Go for
Complicated away.
So it's passive as far as the work you're putting in, but in the stocks and you investing in a startup, there's some emotional exchange out of your bank account because you don't.
Okay.
There's some stress there. You don't know if the startup's going to do well. You don't know if your stocks are going to do well. No one knows if they're going to go up, down, sideways. Nobody knows. All right. So at the end of the day, you have to take that into account as well. Are you sleeping well at night? Is it stressing you out?
Yes, I actually had this thought a few minutes ago, so I'm glad you mentioned this. Even if you were to get something to where it's 100% outsourced, like my Amazon business, let's say I had to work 0 hours a week, it's fully running itself, I'm still going to be thinking about it. It's still going to take some headspace out of my mind. So is that still truly passive? I don't know. Then it boils down to what is your definition of passive income? I would say it probably still is passive because you're not actively doing work, but it's definitely not something that I'm freaking about.
Yeah. I mean, not actively doing work, but it actively taking emotional and free rent space in your head.
So what's your definition for passive income? What is your goal for trying to achieve passive income is what it boils down to.
Yeah, so if we're looking at a strict definition of passive income, there's no such thing. But you can create your own definition of what it looks like, kind of like what financial freedom looks like or what success looks like. You make your own definition of it. For the
Yeah,
most part.
and let's say you're hypothetically someone who just really enjoys starting businesses. You're constantly looking for ways to free up your time so you can do what you love, which is starting up businesses. These passive incomes, they're great ways for you to get money and still have free time to go do what you like, do what you love, whether that's golfing or starting new businesses. Yeah. I'd agree
I
with
like
that.
golfing.
Yeah? You're a golfer?
Yeah, definitely like golfing.
I didn't know that.
Do you guys
a
think?
driver.
Do you guys think stock market investing is worth it? I was actually catching up with a friend today. We got coffee and we talked about this a bit, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I would like to hear what you and your friend said
Sure.
about it.
So, I haven't seen him in a while, but we were catching up, and he asked me if I'm putting any money in the stock market. And I told him no, and he thought I was insane. But I mean, here's my reasoning. In my Amazon business, I can get, let's say, 20 to 25% returns month over month. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be like a stock genius or anything, but from what I've read, you can generally expect like 7 to 10% per year on average. If one of you guys knows better and wants to correct me, please. What I've seen is on average 7 to 10% per year. Comparing that to Amazon 20 to 25% month over month, I just don't know why at this point I would be putting money into stocks until I'm ready to start dialing back on the growth on Amazon, which is coming pretty soon here in the next few months. And then I'll start diversifying in other investments and consider stocks as well.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I think you should definitely educate yourself on stocks. I think at this moment, right now, you're doing a bunch of other things, right? But your primary source of income is Amazon, right? So
Yeah.
I think for the most part, until that grows to a level that you deem sufficient, that should be your primary focus. But I do think you need to have a plan to diversify to stocks, right? Like there's a reason why a bunch of people, including Warren Buffett, invest into Coca-Cola, right? Because the stock doesn't really move up or down and it pays you back dividends. So that's one form of passive income because you just kind of put your money there to sit and it pays you out quarterly or monthly or whatever it is, right? But just like you do with your inventory, and I've said this in the past and some lives and some of my rules, your inventory on Amazon has to be a diverse portfolio, just like your income streams and just like when you start purchasing stocks, right? You need to diversify, open a wide net to keep yourself the safest and to be able to pivot heavier one way or another. And I think that's what you do with your inventory anyways. You kind of open a wide net and diversify yourself as much as you can to kind of play an open game. But you need to focus on one thing first, make that huge explosion, burst it out, make it rock solid, and then start diversifying to other things.
Okay, I agree with what you're saying. What I see the big draw to stocks being is because it's more passive, like we talked. So if I were to get to a point where I'm limited on time and I need more investments, then I would switch to stocks because it's more passive, requires less time. But if I have the time, I should still be diversifying like you're saying, but why not diversify it into higher return investments? Which the highest return investment, in my opinion, is going to be starting your own business. So why not while I'm trying to diversify, just build more businesses as opposed to doing stocks, if I have the time to do so?
You're speaking from... I'm going to talk on this one because I work with Logan and I know him. Logan, you're good at starting businesses and you like doing it, so it's a double positive. You're passionate about it. You're good at it. But a lot of people aren't like that. It's maybe more risky for them to start a business than it is for them to hop into the stock market.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very much speaking towards the entrepreneurs. I think people who are limited on time, maybe you're a 9 to 5, maybe you're not good at starting businesses, whatever it is, the stock market is a great option for a lot of people. It's not for me, and it's not for a lot of people like me who are entrepreneurs and really good at starting businesses. And that ties into, again, just knowing your own strengths and what you're good or not good at.
I mean, I would venture to say there's still even some entrepreneurs that it's good for them to get into the stock markets because their startups are not going to be profitable for the first 5-6 years of their birth.
You know who talks about this? What's his name? 10X guy.
You say Gary Vee?
No, Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone.
Yeah. he doesn't invest in the stock market. And the primary reason he doesn't invest in the stock market or crypto, supposedly, I don't know if he does now, but back then, was because he doesn't understand it. And he doesn't invest into anything that he doesn't understand. And what he does understand is real estate. And that's where his primary focus is. And that's where my primary focus is. And I have a little bit of stocks, but nothing to brag about. It's just kind of just sitting there, seeing what happens. And I'm also curious to know, Logan, did you invest in Dogecoin?
We can talk about Dogecoin. So yeah, I definitely got into Doge.
Knew it.
So I got in on GameStop too, and I'll talk about that one first. So I got in on GameStop and I lost like $1,000, something like that. And then I got in on Doge, and that happened not too long after, and I ended up making like $2,500. So I would say I had a W on Doge.
So you had
Did you invest in Doge?
No, I didn't invest in Doge. I invested in GameStop, and I caught it on the way down, and then a smarter person than me told me to do options going down, and I worked out fine. But I only made like $200-300. It wasn't anything to write home to.
Josh, did you get into Doge?
He got the golden lock stocks.
I wish. I got on. Logan helped me get on Robinhood. He did that thing where we get like $5 or $10 or something, and I invested that in, I think, Tesla, and that's the first, only, and possibly
all
last.
in on Tesla. I like it.
Yeah.
Good diversification.
Yeah, it's like $10 that I got for free. So I really haven't done anything with stocks. I would say I'm in the department of, it's something I don't understand, so I'm not going to put money there yet.
You're more like Grant Cardone than you think.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is, but I'm glad I'm like him. Cisco, did you say that you are in real estate right now? That's impressive. I feel like you've kind of made it if you get into real estate. I don't know why. It has this ambiance around it.
I own real estate.
Filter. Oh, hey,
I own real estate, and
you're in real estate, man. You made it.
You've made it, Cisco.
No, it's my home. My home isn't.
You're a big boy.
Home. And my car. I own my
Hey,
clothes.
that's huge. That's like
owning my clothes. Thanks.
I feel like that's more than what a lot of people can say. Owning their own home.
It was one of my life goals, and that I started pushing hard towards once I turned 21, 22. And I think for me, home ownership was super important because my childhood home, unfortunately, due to the economic crisis that happened, we lost my childhood home, and so for me, it was definitely an important factor to get to a point where I can afford to buy my home, and I'll be able to keep it forever. So it was definitely a priority in my life. Do you guys plan to own any real estate anytime soon?
Oh yeah, I'm going in next year.
Oh yeah? What are you looking for?
100%.
Looking for a haunted house?
So, one, I'm looking for my own residential home, so I can be a homeowner. And then I'd like to buy at least one residential investment property and one commercial investment property. Maybe 2 commercial investment properties, because one of them is going to be used by my other company already.
That sounds like a good plan.
It's pretty big.
Planning on
moves.
buying at least one of those, probably 2 with Amex points.
Okay, how much is a
the down
home
payment.
in Illinois? Oh, okay.
Can I just say, Logan, you bring up your Amex points into literally everything. It's crazy.
I love them.
Well, when you spend $100K a month, you accrue a lot of Amex points.
Yep.
Yeah, but he probably doesn't need a pillow at night because he just sleeps on his Amex points,
No, it's uncomfortable. It lifts his head up too high.
it's too fluffy.
Yeah. He wakes up with stiff neck.
Yeah, but I'm like, hey, you wanna come home with me? 7,000 miles away. It's 3 flights away. $2,000 flight. Oh yeah, I'll put it on my Amex points. Dude, come on, are you kidding me? That's wild.
Hey Josh,
Yeah.
I think you're just salty because you have an Amex, but your business expenses on.
You got to get that Amex.
Get the
I don't know
Amex.
I don't know if I'll ever get to that Amex point.
All
definitely get
I think
there.
it is time for the quote of the day. Here it is, everybody. A man without struggle is never going to be a powerful man. The best men you know are men who have been through struggle or depressed and have come out the other side. If you're going to be a hero, you're going to suffer. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.